Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of Heart to Heart with Bree. And tonight's guest is Stafford Oliver, who is a life coach, a lifestyle coach, and a medical evangelist. Would you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Pleasant good night, everyone. My name is Stafford Oliver, medical missionary, evangelist, lifestyle coach, and also a herbalist as well. And thank God for the opportunity for Sister Bree to ask me to come and share on our platform. And I pray that as we share today, it will be a blessing to each and everyone that is viewing.
And I do appreciate you coming on, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation. So I'll begin with how long have you been doing this? How long have you been a medical evangelist?
Well, I became a Christian in 2005. And as I accept the call. First, in 2002, the lifestyle change started. I was an avid, we call it flesh eater, a lot of dairies and all those ice cream, cheese lover, because I was working for one of the leading manufacturers in the Caribbean that distributed these foods. So they were accessible to me. So when I changed my one of my friend, he introduced me to a healthy lifestyle. He was a naturopathic doctor and also a Christian, and he told me that if you want to be healthy, you have to change your lifestyle. And when I changed my lifestyle, then after my spiritual aspect started coming, and I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior in 2005. And when I accept the call, I was sharing the gospel of health also with others as well. And it has been a blessing. From 2005, I'm on that journey. But I've started it I was doing it part time, but I started full time in August of this year, complete full time. That's what I do full time.
Okay.
Go to
And
var- various churches all over United States to help others and go to individuals to give them lifestyle counseling and help them to change their lifestyle to a healthy lifestyle and to enhance it by providing the right food and the right atmosphere for them to be healthy.
yes. Now, how vital is the information that you will be sharing tonight?
It's very vital. It's very important. It is very life saving because we have come across because I work with a ministry also called Tree of Life Ministry. You know, my brother in Christ, brother Yudi, has been a friend from 2016. We have met and we have done a lot of retreats and camp meetings all over the United States. So we collaborated in August completely to do this together. So we go from place to place. Now we are in Alabama right now, helping us two sisters with some lifestyle change who are suffering from chronic diabetes and chronic kidney failure as well. So that's what we do. So it's very important because everywhere where you turn, somebody is crying out for help.
Why should we be mindful of what we eat?
It's very important. Whatsoever we put inside our body is what we're going to get from it. For instance, if we have a car, the manufacturer information is on that car of what you should do, what fuel you should put in it, what oil you should put in it, and you have to use the original things that it's supposed to use if you're changing stuff to filter everything. Our body have a filtration system as well. And we have to ensure that whatever we put inside of our body is fuel in our body. Our body operate on a cellular level. So what we do to it is very important. So we cannot eat anyhow and expect to be healthy.
That is so true. How can a diet change, lifestyle change bring positive changes to our health?
You're asking somebody who's speaking from experience. My lifestyle, I was a party fan, party, drinking a lot of alcohol, and my life was messed up. I had chronic sinusitis. My sinusitis was so acute. It's like I have to end up on sick leave like 3 times per year for a week or more sometimes because My body was breaking down. I was inflamed. I was so inflamed. So when I did my lifestyle change, as I earlier said in 2002, I become in less than 6 months, my energy soar. And so I know when we make the transition, you're gonna see effect. Your body's gonna be like, yes, this is what I want. Because whatever we give it, that's what it will do. It will shut down or it will rise up. So one of the things that I recognize, I'm from the Caribbean, Jamaica by birth. One of the things that the lifestyle of our fourth parents, if we continue that same lifestyle, which is to eat a processed food diet and a highly saturated fat diet, a highly salt diet, and all these processed things we put in our body. We don't know where we're getting them from. If we continue on that pathway, one of the things that I learned is that genetics loads the gun, but it's lifestyle that pulled the trigger. And also, a famous doctor says an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Many of the people that we work with, they wish they weren't in this situation that they are in. And I don't wish
Yes.
anyone to be in that situation. We have worked with doctors, PhD doctors. We have worked with nurses. We have worked with persons with colon cancer, prostate cancer, kidney failure, diabetes, glaucoma, and all these things. And when we go to them, they wish they weren't in this situation. But in the first place, your body's reacting to what? How we treat it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. How harmful are sugar and salt to the body?
Number one, sugar, processed sugar. You have a book by Dr. Russell Baylock. His book is called Excitotoxin, The Taste That Kills. So you have the sugar that cure, and you have the sugar that kills. The sugar that God made when He made it, He encapsulated with fiber. When man touch it, they strip it from this his fiber, and it become toxic to the body, acidic. So, for instance, you take a fig. When you open the fig, when you look at the figs, you're looking like you're looking at all the cell in the body when you open up the fig. When man get it, they change it up and they process it in such a way that it kills all the nutrients that the body needs. So it go against the body. For instance, you see that man turn the sugar into alcohol, and the body does not operate with alcohol. When God made man in the beginning, the Bible said God made man from the dust of the ground. Then after he did that, he breathed on into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And then God planted about a garden and gave man. God himself planted that garden. And what God placed in that garden is what the food, the environment that God wanted man to live. But man changed it and we start processing a lot of processed things and man become more sick. If we understand in 1910, in the United States of America, a great change took place. The Carnegie Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation decided to
Think we're having some technical problems. Please bear with us.
Are we good now?
Yes, we're fine now. Please continue.
Yes. Okay, so the Carnegie Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. So Carnegie went and he changed a lot of stuff in the medical system. A lot of Americans in that time were practicing natural holistic care. You can check all the doctors that was practicing holistic treatments, and they changed all of that. They changed the school. They said no, we want to put in a different system where we have control over the health care. And they came in with all their sophisticated things. No more natural. They blacklist natural cure, and we see what is happening in America. America is not even in the top 15 country would have the best healthcare system in the world right now. Well, everywhere you go, people are crying chronic lifestyle diseases based on the processed food that they are eating. Now on salt, you have the salt that comes from the ocean, and you have the salt that comes from the Himalayan. In France, where the Celtic salt is processed, is the French soldiers guard that mine. It's a sacred site. That salt have 84 minerals. The Himalayan pink salt have 77 minerals. The salt that is table salt has no minerals. It has no minerals. That table salt, all the brands that you want, the Morton brands, all the brands you want to name, is stripped of all the minerals and it become toxic to the body because it's laced with chemicals. Salt, our food has lost money of our food, especially food that we don't grow ourselves, is depleted of minerals. And our body need minerals to function.
Wow. I mean, you're giving me, I'm taking in, this is information. A lot of this I am familiar with. I did have the privilege of attending a seminar at Uchee Pines years ago, and I can
Yeah,
tell you it was a life-changing experience. I'd like to
yeah.
welcome Andrew Green. Andrew, thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's talk about the alternatives. You know, they talk about artificial sweeteners.
Yes.
Now, personally, I don't like the taste of them, so I don't use them. What is your take on the alternatives?
You have good alternatives like the date syrup. You have the honey, which is pure. If you get the good honey that is raw, if you remember, they searched King Tut tomb and they found honey in King Tut tomb, and that honey was not expired. It was in its right form. People have to understand with the bee. The bees is one of the most sterile of creatures on the planet. Antimicrobial, antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal, all the anti is in the bee. So whenever now the bee produce a thing inside of their hive called propolis. The propolis is the thing that they use. If something, an insect came inside their site and he died in that hive, they embalm him with that propolis. What that propolis does, it allows nothing of germs or viral to spread. So honey is a very important thing that we could use for one of our sweetener. As I said, dates as well, maple syrup. You tap the maple to get the syrup. And all the sugars that you can get from the fruits that you eat, especially the non-GMO foods.
Okay. Now, I'd like to talk about diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. What would you suggest to those who have these diseases?
We have a thing called epigenetics, right? If you shut off the source, if you shut off the source that is causing the illness, you know that you're on track to healing. And one of the things that I come across with many people that says it runs in my family. Many people say it runs in my mom. My mom died from stroke. My grandfather died from heart attack. But if I continue in the same pathway that they go on, sickness is not just physical. One of the things that people deem sickness as just physical, it affects the spirituality, it accepts the mental, it accepts the emotional, and it accepts the social life as well. So if you attack disease just on a physical level, then you have a problem. But if you adjust it at every level, then you can reverse. You got to change. The lifestyle change is one of the most important part of it. Complete lifestyle change. One of the things that when people come across that they are ill, one of the biggest thing they started to worry. You have two accounts in the Bible, one in Second Kings and one in Chronicles, about two kings. One was Hezekiah, was sick, and when Hezekiah was sick, who the first person he seek? He seek God. He seek to God. But the other one was Asa. Asa seek who? The physicians. The physicians. And he seek the physician and he died. So the first person when we are sick, we must consult is the one that made us. The Bible says in Psalms 100, knowing not that the Lord has made us and not ourselves. So God is responsible for us. And he promised us that he will heal all our disease according to Psalms 103. So that is the God that we should consult in every sickness or any ailment that we suffer. And lifestyle change is very important.
Yes. I'd like to welcome my friend Mikey. Go, Mikey. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, there's a movie that I watched on YouTube years ago, and it's called Raw. And it's about these people. I think it's about maybe eight of them, and they're diabetic, and they go to this retreat, and
Yes.
they were all pretty much healed because they went on a diet that there was no meat. They had to go raw for 30 days. And in those 30 days, I'm telling you, it was amazing at what I watched. And now there was one guy who didn't get rid of it, but his levels were much lower. There was one guy that he didn't participate for the whole thing because he couldn't go without eating meat. Like after that, I think it was like the third day, he just about lost his mind and he was like, I can't do this. But it was amazing at, like you were saying, the lifestyle change because they had them moving and doing things that they were supposed to do. But looks like Stafford is having a technical problem, so please bear with us. But yes, this documentary, Raw, it's on YouTube, and I tell you, it is really an amazing documentary.
Watch the health.
Okay, I hear. There
Watch
you
the
go.
health.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Watch the
now
health.
I'd
These
like
are
to talk about. Can you hear me? Okay, good.
hearing you
I'd
clear.
like to talk about asthma. My eldest child died from an asthma attack. And, you know, it's crazy to think in this day and age that someone would die from an asthma attack with all that all the medications that are available. I'd like you to address herbal remedies that help asthmatics.
One of the question as you spoke to me, one of my friend was talking to me last night, and she was mentioned to me what is good for asthma. Well, we have to understand that mucus is inside of us, but when it's excess because of an acid environment, and we got issue, the lungs, we got a big um,
Stafford, you're not coming through very clearly. If you're using a computer, can you connect directly to um your connection because you're going in and out.
Are you hearing me now?
I can hear you
Hello?
now. I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so
I do apologize for this to the viewers, and hopefully he'll be back on shortly. Unfortunately, this is something that happens from time to time.
I'm back.
Okay, there, great.
Sorry about that. I just use my phone because I know what's going on with my computer. So I just use
Okay,
it.
great, great. And you sound much clearer too. So
Yeah.
I'd like you to address asthma once again because I didn't hear anything you said earlier.
Yeah, I said asthma. Well, all of my children, they had that situation when they were born. And before they were 2 years old, all of them were clear of that because I started addressing the problem from the root. So, for instance, the things that are causing the asthma, like processed food and dairy products, all of that are inflammatory foods. So if you remove the inflammatory foods out of the diet, that will help the process. For instance, mullein. Mullein is one of the herb that helps to clear the lungs. So the lungs is the one that helps the oxygen to go inside of the body. So that clear the airway of the lungs. Then you have lungwort. Remember one of my person that I studied with when I was doing my herbiology course, he said that lungwort is one of the first herb he noticed that could grow back the lungs. And I said, wow. So lungwort is one of the herb that you could use, and the mullein for the oregano as well. Oregano herb is also good for that as well. And also you can make your concoction like your four ounces of honey, your garlic, your red onions, and you cut up everything together, and the horseradish as well, the horseradish root. The horseradish is a famous plant that the Japanese use to make one of their famous sauce called wasabi. The pungent of the horseradish root, it pull out any inflammation that is inside of you. So you could cut up that a small piece of that, like about your finger, half of your big finger, and cut it up inside of a jar. And you pour your honey. You pour about 3 pegs of onion, 3 pegs of garlic, and one onion, and cut it up and rest it stay overnight. And if you keep taking that like twice a day, that will help the asthma. Plus the tea that you're taking, like a tablespoon of the mullein, a tablespoon of the lungwort, with the dandelion root. I add some a tablespoon of dandelion root and the oregano. That will help also to alleviate. And also inhalation steam, like the menthol crystal steam, you could do that as well, and that will help clear the problem. But as I said, one of the things that you have to do, you have to remedy the problem at the source.
Yes. Yes. Now, what you mentioned earlier, that concoction, will that also help with the flu?
Yes, yes, you're on track. You're on track.
Okay,
You're on
good.
track. You're on track. Because
So,
every disease is linked to inflammation.
yes, yes. Now, let me ask you this. Do a lot of the processed foods have, what is it with mucus? Because I know mucus is not good for the body. Is a lot of this mucus a result of poor eating habits, like eating processed food?
Yes, this is one of my author that I've been studying. Her name is on the back here. Her name is Ulda Clark. She was one of the doctors that was helping people every chronic lifestyle diseases, and her book is entitled "The Cure for All Disease."
Okay.
So when you read her book, she outlined that majority of the disease that men have is based on their lifestyle. The processed food that we consume, these people can do better. I spent some time in London, and you could go into the Burger King and get a vegetarian food in London at the Burger King. Not so in the United States. What they're
You
giving
know,
you like impossible food, impossible burger. I read an article, is more worse than meat based on the process. It was created in a lab, so it's synthetic.
in what I noticed in England is that, like, if you go to the market, the fruit for some reason, it's just everything looks healthier. The
Yes.
sodas, everything, they have a different color. So
Oh yeah.
they don't have all the dyes and all of that. So I will say that is one of the things that I've noticed every time, I've gone back to London. It's amazing at the difference in the food. And like even at the market, and you
Yes.
see the meat at the butchers, for those who do eat meat, I'm like, it's just amazing at the difference.
Yeah,
Now let
definitely. So they can do
yeah.
better, but you could continue.
Well, what it is, I think and you can tell me whether you agree with me or not. I think it comes down to convenience. I remember when I was growing up and my mom would cook, she would cook everything from scratch. And it's like we live in an instant generation now. Instant this, instant that, things that are microwavable, things that are quick. because it's like, women are working, now, and it's like, when you get home from work, you may not feel like cooking, and fast food has become so convenient, but I think that's the biggest part of the problem. I think we're paying the price for convenience and, wanting instant food, wanting it now. I mean, what's your take on that?
For instance, I remember growing up as a child, processed food was not popular.
It's true.
Like 30 years ago, processed food was not popular. But for the last 5 years, processed food has become, not even the last 10 years, processed food has become everything, as you said, become packaged, microwavable. I usually work, as I told you, for one of the leading food manufacturers in the Caribbean, Grace Foods. And everything that they usually make was different. Then they start making your porridge in the cup. They start making your soup in the
Yep.
cup, and start making your vegetable in packages and all these stuff. And people say, "Yeah, we have an opportunity now. We can go to the store and get things pre-prep. You get your meat now pre-prep, so it's easy for you to go on. But we can pre-prep our food.
Yeah.
For
Give
instance,
us some tips on what and how we can do that.
for us, at our lifestyle, what we do. For instance, we're making a smoothie. We're making a smoothie. We just put 5 ingredients inside of it: some berries, um, some coconut milk. We add some sea moss to it. We add some grain, some nuts to it. We add some chia seeds, some MC to it, and that is a complete nutrition. But the reason why we have to be eating so often is because our food is depleted of nutrition. For instance, now
Yes.
you go to the store to buy a waffle. When you took up the package of that waffle, it has about 15 ingredients. But if you make it at home,
Ingredients that you can't even pronounce
it
half
can't
of them.
pronounce. It can't
Yeah.
pronounce. So I tell people I'm not just a lifestyle person. I'm also a food investigator. If I come to your house, I'm going to critique your food as well because I need to know what I'm putting. It's my responsibility to know what I'm putting inside of my body. So whenever I go to,
What you're saying is true. And let me ask you this,
mm-hmm.
because I've noticed that a lot of the food that's processed has very little fiber, if any at all.
No
And
fiber.
let's talk about the importance of fiber. I do know that foods that have fiber, they're more filling. It gives you the ability to have a bowel movement. So to eat foods that are stripped of fiber, it's like a death sentence. So please address how important it is to have fiber in food.
Fiber is like a car that is running on fuel and running on high fuel inside of it compared to a car that is low on fuel. You see that yellow light come up on your dash, you know that you need to fill.
Yes.
So fiber is what energizes the body. For instance, we work with people who have not gone to the bathroom for 6 days, a
Oof.
week, 2 weeks. So if you check the amount of time you eat, so for instance, you eat 3 meals a day. For instance, you eat 3 meals a day, and if you multiply that by the amount of time you have not went to the restroom, you're constipated. The lymphatic system is the sewer system of the body. The sewer system of the body is the lymphatic system. If your lymphatic system is clogged, you're waiting for chronic lifestyle disease to go inside of your body. So what fiber does, it cleans you out. It takes out what it doesn't want and it use the rest to fuel the body. So we need majority of these food that we are eating. Number one, you're genetically modified. The corns, the wheat, and all these stuff are genetically. The oils that they use, you understand? Aldehyde. Aldehyde is a toxic chemical that is in all seed oils. For instance, the canola oil was made to run engine or motor, not to put inside the human body.
Right.
Sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, grapeseed oil, and all these oil that they see processed. Can somebody tell me how much grapeseed they're gonna use? Grapeseed are tiny. How much grapeseed they're gonna use So they put synthetic things inside of that, and what that does to the body don't use the synthetic.
Yeah.
Your body's used the natural substance inside of it. So that change the genetic makeup of your body. The soil, if you want to test the soil, I'm in Alabama now. If I want to test the soil, I can go to Alabama AME University and say, please, I need you to test this oil for me. All the mineral that is in the soil, the good soil, that is not contaminated, I'm talking the good soil, and those minerals can be found inside of your body. When you go to the doctor and you ask them for a blood work, they can tell you that your potassium is low. They can tell you that your sodium is high. They can tell you that your blood sugar is this level. They can give you all the information. Why? Because all those minerals shows up in your reading. So whatever we put inside our body is the result we're gonna see.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that is really a lot of food for thought, for sure. I'd like to talk about smoking. For
Yes.
smokers who are addicted to nicotine and they are struggling to stop, what advice would you give to them?
Number one, prayer. The first one is prayer. We can't overcome nothing on our own. We only can overcome through Jesus Christ. How did I overcome my lifestyle that I was living out there? Drinking. I was a casual smoker when I was out there. Casual. It was not something that I enjoy. And one day I remember at age 20, I was smoking and a thought came into my mind, what are you doing? This is not doing nothing to you but destroy you. And at that point I get up and a voice said, you need to pray to me. So one of the first things is every addiction is a spiritual problem. We can go to as much rehab as we can, but if we are not allowing the Spirit of God to help us through this process, and number one, we cannot like mingle with the things that is causing the problem in the first place. Number one, we have to take things like for instance, you have an urge to smoke. Peppermint is good for that. Just give some a better substitute from that to get rid of it. Pray about the situation. So I have a formula, but I don't have it at hand for
Okay.
to help people to stop smoking as
You
well.
know, that is what caused my son's death.
Mm,
Unfortunately, he was a smoker. And
yes.
I used to get really upset with him for smoking. And unfortunately, of all things, he likes cigars. And cigars, they said like one cigar is like the equivalent of what is it, like 20 cigarettes or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you could see the difference in him because the lack of oxygen, it's he would be very like almost looking white, because he wasn't getting enough oxygen. And, I always asked him, like, why would you do that to yourself? And I would get pretty upset. And the day before he died, the neighbors said that he was outside smoking, and then they saw him giving himself a breathing treatment. And they
Wow.
said they even laughed because they were like, how ridiculous is that? He's smoking and now he's giving himself a breathing treatment. But
It's
because of being young, and sometimes you think you're invincible and you
yes.
think it will never happened to you. And unfortunately, that's what took my son's life. So it's like smoking. I would say especially to kids, when you pick up that first cigarette and you think, oh, you're being cool with your friends, nicotine is very addictive and it's a hard thing to stop. And I will tell you, Brother Oliver, my son he believed in God and he prayed a lot, So I know that some people, they have that desire and they do believe in God, but some people, they really do struggle with addiction, whether it's nicotine or drugs or alcohol. So for those who are really, really struggling in that area, because eventually it will affect your spiritual life, I do
Yeah.
believe.
Definitely.
What
Definitely.
words of encouragement would you like to offer to those who are struggling with some form of it? I mean, some people are addicted to food. I mean, sugar has been something that I have struggled with. So,
Yeah.
what word of advice would you like to give to those who are struggling?
For instance, I remember where we are, a store that my friends own in Missouri. Um, Someone came and he asked for mullein, and I said I was reasoning with him. I said, "Let me." A voice tell me to talk to him, and I said, "Why do you need a mullein?" He said, "Because I have a lung issue. When I walk my dog, my chest started wheezing, and I feel like I'm shortness of breath and like I'm gonna die. But when I use the mullein, it helps me." So I said, "The mullein is like the plaster, right?" So that's what I said to him. The mullein is like the plaster. You keep doing the same thing, and then you're gonna use the plaster. So you have to operate at the source. You have to cut off the source. And I said to him, "You're a smoker, right?" And he said, "Oh, you know?" I said, "Yeah, I know." So he contacted me and he said, "Man, I need you to help me to make a lifestyle change." One of the things that we do, we pray for people in this situation, and we, as I told you, help them to change their lifestyle, to get the urge out of them by giving them herbs that will help them and lifestyle move away from that surrounding. When that urge comes in, you pray, you try to, you gotta fight. You have to ask God for the willpower to do it.
Yes.
As you rightly said, sugar is a urge. All you have to do is try to avoid all things that are overly processed. You have to avoid all that things that are over. I was addicted to dairy. I was addicted to dairy. I was like consuming about 70% dairy daily. And I recognize that if I don't stop, and you have to take evasive action when it comes to your life. And when that person came to me and told me whatever, how he approached me in a way like drastically. And he said, "Man, you have to stop now, else you're gonna die." Because I was always sick. And when I did take that evasive action, I started. And I see in one of my prayer that I prayed to God, if you want me to stop eating the way I'm eating, you gotta teach me how to cook the way I need to cook. And God taught me. So we have to take evasive action when it comes to our life. We have to understand that our body, we don't own our body. It's given to us by God. And God is responsible for us. Our bodies are the temple of God. So we cannot put anything inside of it that we please. Because if we continue to do that, then the sure result will come. And I truly sorry to hear about your the passing of your children. But that
I
is
tell you,
life.
it's this is it's the reason why I do this podcast
Yes.
because it was devastating. My very first child, he was only 26. He had just turned 26.
Yeah.
But, I was angry for a long time because I felt it was something that could have been avoided. But
Yes.
it's like I know the struggles that I have had. So at the end of the day, I understand. But, you know, I try to put information out there that will be helpful to others and help them to understand that we can overcome. But it's like people like yourself that's putting knowledge out there that will be very beneficial. Now, I'd like to talk about herbal remedies for erectile dysfunction and low sex drive. I know that there are people out there that struggle in this area, and it's very embarrassing. I don't think a man would like to sit with his buddies and say, "Hey, I'm struggling in this area," or whatever. But for the people out there who are struggling in this area, and I know there are women out there too who may be struggling with a low sex drive, especially after going through menopause. So what is it that they can do?
Number one, I always talk about the source of the problem. The Bible says in Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11, so the life of the flesh is in the blood. Erectile dysfunction is low blood circulation. So if we can get the blood to circulate properly, as I told you, the food which we eat, which is inflammatory in nature, if we can cut out the inflammatory food, the acidic food from out of our diet, and for instance, some of the herbs that we can use to help the blood flow, like the ginkgo biloba, is a good herb for the blood and also for the brain as well. The dandelion, the sarsaparilla root, sarsaparilla root. is one of the herb that we can use. The moringa, what they call the miracle tree, we can use that as well to help with the blood flow. So as I says, the body just need mineral to function. The my favorite food that I told you about with my smoothie every morning is my sea moss.
Yeah.
My sea moss. The sea moss has 92 minerals. So the sea moss with the bladderwrack is a next herb. That's herbs that help to fuel the body. Drink your water in the morning, like your lemon water in the morning. I drink at least 8 ounce to 16 ounce of lemon water. What I do, I get the organic lemon, I juice the whole lemon. I pre-prep stuff. If you pre-prep stuff, it's easy to do.
Yes.
So I put it in a jar, a mason jar, store it in the fridge. When I wake up in the morning, I just take some warm water and half cup warm water and half cup cold water, and then put my lemon juice, about a ounce or 2 ounce lemon juice, mix it and drink that. What that does, it flush your system. This is good for every ailment. It flush your system, and you do that. And during the day, you drink at least half your body weight in ounces. For instance, you weigh 150 pounds, 75 ounces of water daily. If you can go 80, it's good too, because your organs need flushing and it need water to fuel it. You can stay weeks without food, but not so with water.
Yeah.
You need water daily because your organs needs water, your cells need water. So that's one of the things. So erectile dysfunction in men, it can be remedied. You have to attack it from the source. If the blood flow is cut off, um, you're gonna have erectile dysfunction. With women now, for women suffering that as well, one of the herbs women suffering with that, it's rare with women. For me, it's rare with women. One of the things I know women suffer from, like menopause, and suffer from birth defects. So one of the herbs for that is dog blood. Dog blood is good for that, for women suffering from birth defects. The red clover, I tell that the woman best friend. The red raspberry, or red wild raspberry. Those herbs mixed together with dandelion, that will help to clear out the system. And the next thing is parasite cleanse. We have to talk about parasite, because parasite, what it does, it took all the nutrients from out of your body.
Yeah.
So like someone just living in your house, they're not contributing no form. So for instance, they're just absorbing everything but not contributing. That's what parasite does. It's just taking all the nutrients out of your body. So you need to do a parasite cleanse. Wormwood, black walnut, neem, cloves, any bitter herbs, like the a herb that I grew up with called Shema Maca, like Shema old lady. They call it in America Memusia pudica, the shy plant. Add all these herbs together. First cleanse is a parasite cleanse, because many people detox their body, but they never do a parasite detox.
Okay.
So parasite detox is very, as I study on it, I did a presentation on parasites and what parasite does. Parasite can shut your immune system off. And if your
Wow.
immune system is shut off, you know what can happen. Your body is inflamed. A doctor did an operation. A man had a big stomach, and they took 20 pounds of things out of his stomach, cut it out of his stomach, 20 pounds. So worms, they multiply over time. They are microorganisms. You may not see them with the naked eyes, but if you continue to eat the way you eat, by eating a highly processed food diet, then your body is going to be a haven for intestinal worms inside of your gut. So you need a
So that
gut.
is that why, back in the past, I remember that
Mm.
when kids were out of school for the summer, parents used to give them what was called worm medicine or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I
I
remember
got
Aunt
that.
Sylvie giving us cod liver oil,
Hmm.
things like that. So is that why kids were given those things?
Yes, you have a herb that they gave us when I was in Jamaica. My mom usually gave us every school break. We got it. They call moja herb with different herb like wormwood and all these herbs inside of it. And when you drink that, a few minutes later you gotta go to the bathroom or and flush out those worms outside. Parasite is in all our bodies, but when they become excess, our body have microorganism. We have trillions of bacteria in our body. 39 trillion bacteria is inside of our body. 39 trillion bacteria. Bacteria is not a problem. You know what is the problem? When we feed them wrong. When we feed them wrong, they become destructive
Yeah.
to the body. So that's the problem.
Oh my goodness, you're giving me so you giving me so much to think about. I mean, honestly, we don't think about these things, and I think as time has gone on, there are things that we just decided not to do anymore, like the kids having this worm medicine, things of that nature, and I think it's needed more than ever before. I'd like to talk about depression. Now, what can we do for depression as far as herbal remedies?
As I told you, herbal remedy is one of the thing to help the problem. But as I told you, I like to repeat this because this is what we practice in our procedure when we are helping people at our lifestyle counseling session and going to them to do lifestyle counsel with them. We tell them that our first answer is not a herbal remedy. We have done consultation with people and they didn't even get a herbal remedy. After
Okay.
the consultation was finished, we addressed the source. Many people are going through depression based on remorse, grief, anxiety, sorrow, and all these things. They have a bad relationship, lost a loved one, and all these things. It affect the mind. So we try to address the thing from a spiritual, a mental, emotional, social, and then physical. So
Yeah.
if we can address those issues, then we can deal with depression. And I'm telling you, it has been working. Because we have been with doctors, PhD, and we found out what the problem was on their bed and asked them certain situation, and they start breaking up in tears to say that the reason why I'm in this situation is based on this. This person have done this to me, and that person have done that to me. The Bible tells us the first medicine is that in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22, it said, "A merry heart doeth good like a what? A medicine. But a broken spirit, what it does? It dry the bone."
Yeah.
Dr. Cannon, Harvard University, you know what he says? Anger pull calcium from the bone. And Confucius says an angry man is full of deadly poison. So many times, anxiety and depression is based on what we feed our mind. The Bible says in Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3, "Thou will keep thee in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee." The only person that can give us true peace is God. So whenever we are going to a situation, the first person we need to consult is God. In Isaiah 1 verse 8, he said, "Come, let us reason together." We may call a family member, we may call a friend, but they don't understand our situation like God, like Christ does. He's touched with the very feelings of our infirmities, and is all points tempted like us, but yet without sin. So he's able to help us through every situation. He told us in Isaiah 29, "My thoughts towards you are thoughts of good and not of evil." God loves us. He said he loves us with an everlasting love. And what he says in Psalms 119, verse 165, "Great peace are they that love thy law, and nothing shall offend them." One of the main reasons why people are depressed is based on an anxiety, and depression is based on how they filter situation. Either you're going to let the situation help you to change, or is it going to change your mind and mess up your thinking. So you're gonna think about the problem, and you're gonna think about it till it drains you. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people suffering from mental health who are not in mental facility. There are people that are just in suits. There are people that are going to church week after week and are suffering from mental health.
It's true.
So that's why Christ, he deal with the mind first. If the mind can be cured, the body will be cured.
I
So
mean, it's
one of the
what you're saying is really making sense to me anyway. And I'd like to ask you this because for many who are depressed, they're stressed out. A lot
yes,
of people are going without they're going without getting enough sleep, and I have found like I recently started working nights and it's really messed me up because it's like I'm sleeping during the day now, which does not feel natural.
that's is
And
it does.
I'm always feeling tired. It's like it's so weird. And it's like for the people who have been working night shift for a very long time, it has to affect their health in some way, in my opinion. For those who are struggling with sleep, I mean, what advice can you give?
For instance, one of the problem is we disrupt the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is like this. The body, if we understand how the sunrise and the sunset, the sunrise in the morning at a certain time,
Yes,
the sun goes down at a certain time. Our body supposed to go down at a certain time. The first 3 hours before midnight, if we are asleep, the time is doubled. It is recommended that we must get 8 hours of sleep daily. So if we fall below that, then that disrupt the circadian rhythm and that invite sickness and also invite depression. I have
yes,
a video that I posted on my YouTube channel about 6 years ago. This is a doctor that he studied the sleep cycle, and he show you all the chronic lifestyle disease that people suffer include depression because of lack of sleep.
yes.
So sleep is one of the most important thing that we need.
That is, you know what, that I truly believe that. I went through a period of about, I want to say maybe 3 years after my son died, where I honestly couldn't sleep more than 3 hours. And I it just tore me apart. I mean, when you don't get enough sleep, you can't think straight. It's just hard to function. And a lot of people think that sleep is one of the things that they can put to the side, but sleep is vital.
One of
You
the most
need
important.
you need to rest.
Yes. For instance, as I hear you talk about sleep, one of the things that people that's one of the greatest vitamins that you need, because when you get sleep, your body become energized, your organs start functioning properly. When you lack of sleep, you become fatigued, lose energy, and imagine going through a day with on low energy. I was in New York, working in New York in construction, and if I don't get enough sleep, it's like sometimes I'm driving because my I drive from Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, New Jersey, upstate New York sometimes to check on jobs. And if I don't get enough sleep, sometimes I have to pull off to take a five because my body's it can't function without rest. So rest is very important. So one of the things that we have to prioritize all the things that will fuel the body. So it's not just take multivitamins. It's not just taking multivitamins. We have to take evasive action when it comes to our health because we are the first doctor.
That is the truth because I truly believe when you don't get enough sleep, you're not alert.
No,
You can't make wise decisions.
no,
I know for the job that I have, it's like making a mistake is just not an option. It's like
no,
there are some jobs where it's it's so important for you not to make a mistake. And
no.
I think that, we have to realize and learn to value sleep. I mean,
Yes,
I can tell you that the last time I felt like this was like when I had my children, when you have a baby and you're not getting enough sleep. It's like I'm reminded of that feeling, but it's like I'm determined because I know that if I don't get enough sleep, then it's a wrap. I mean, we all need to rest. So I have to say this. You are giving us a lot of great information And I'd like to let the viewers know that you will be coming back, which I'm very excited about because I think this knowledge that you're sharing is very important. I'd like you to give some information about, do you have a website? Is there a way that if someone wants to get in touch with you to be coached, how can they go about that?
The ministry that I'm connected to is called Tree of Life. Ministry Tree of Life Health Foods. We have a store also in Mountain Grove, Missouri, a health food store there, and we do retreats all over the United States. The new year we're gonna have a retreat in Sebring, Florida, 7 day retreat in lifestyle counseling retreat in Sebring, Florida. The ministry is called Green Pharmacy. So Green Pharmacy with the F, not with the P. Farmacy dash treeoflife.com.
Now, if a person's interested in purchasing, do you guys sell products online? Can we
Yes,
purchase?
yes, that's yes. So, that same website. Let me repeat for clarity. Is
Okay.
Green Pharmacy dash treeoflife.com. So Green Pharmacy Farmcy dash treeoflife.com. So you can check us our website. We do all of our we have CMOS, we do CMOS as well. On our website, you will see the CMOS. We do tinctures. None of our tinctures are made with alcohol, are non-alcoholic tinctures. We have herbs, all different herbs. We help people with various lifestyle disease, as I said earlier in my discourse. Kidney failure, stage 5. Remember, I sent you a video on that young man that had stage 5 kidney failure. He's almost off dialysis.
Okay.
People with colon cancer, through lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, have reversed. People with diabetes also have reversed. Hypertension reversed. Glaucoma have reversed. All the chronic lifestyle diseases we have been working with. So, as I told you, now we are in Alabama helping two elderly persons, one with glaucoma, one with diabetes, and also kidney failure, and the next one with diabetes as well. And
Um,
also
okay. Do you have a social media platform? Do you have like a YouTube, Facebook, or anything that you'd like to put out there?
Fine Linen. You can check us out at Fine Linen. Fine Linen. You can check
Okay.
us out at Fine Linen on YouTube.
Okay.
And my my let me pull it up. I don't remember it out my name. My
Now, if
YouTube.
there's a church or an organization that would be interested in you coming to speak, how do they go about reaching out to you?
All right, I give you my email address. You can contact me at my email address. Stafford Oliver, one word. Stafford Oliver, one word. 1755 at gmail.com. Stafford Oliver, Staffordoliver, 1755 at gmail.com. And we have a person that does all of the, once you contact me, I'll hand you over to her, or person that does all of the contacts. So she will contact you. So we have been to many churches so far in Georgia, in Pennsylvania, all over the United States. I've been to Oregon as well. So now we are in Alabama right now. We have been in Illinois as well.
Okay.
Even traveled to Jamaica. Some of our team has traveled to Jamaica as well. So what we do, we offer a difference to people. Many times people want people to come to their lifestyle, but if the people are immobile and for inconvenience, we go to them and we do the training right in their home or wherever they choose to help
That's
them.
a blessing. That's definitely a blessing. What are your closing thoughts for tonight? And before we close, I have to thank you once again. I know you're very busy, so I appreciate you taking the time to do this. What are your closing thoughts for tonight?
And my closing thoughts that we have to remember that our body is the temple of God. And one of my favorite texts in the Bible is Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. Paul's about begging the people. The word beseech says he's begging them. Therefore, I beseech you, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove the perfect and acceptable will of God. So we have to understand that God made us. And David says in Psalms 139, verse 14, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Satan cannot mimic the human body. He can make robots, he can make AI, but nothing can mimic the human body because God has made us as the crowning act of creation. Man is the crowning act of creation. But we have to take care of this human mechanism that God has given us. This is the house that we live in. We can take care of our cars, we can take care of our physical home, but this one of the most important thing we need to take care of our body.
Yes, I think this was a great way to end 2025 with for this podcast. You've given us a lot of great information. And for those who, we're going into a brand new year, time for a fresh start for most of us. I mean, let's think about it. I mean, our bodies are our temple, and I think we have to do our part. Once again, thank you so much for doing this, and I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful and blessed week. And next week, Andrew and I will be back. Take care, everyone, and be blessed.
Thank you.
Amen. As someone says here, wonderful presentation, and I most definitely agree with you, Maxine. Take
All
care. Have a great day.
right, take care. Bye.